Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga mushroom coffee. All right. As you can see from the gold and silver slam down today, Steve Mnuchin got reloaded with $4 trillion to rig markets. So far, so good. How long do I think it'll last? I'm thinking a month. $4 trillion in a month. Now, in order to do that, in order to get it approved by Congress, he had to give we the people something that's going to come in 3 weeks. Supposedly a check for, on the average, I think the average check is, well, if you divide it by the amount of people in America, it's like $700. So a handful of banks get $4 trillion, and the people get $700 each. What's that going to last you? A week? 2 weeks? By the way, I do not advise paying any taxes at all anymore. There will never be another tax bill collected. Mark my words. I know they extended it to June 15th or July 15th. Things won't be better by then. There will be no more taxes. That's a great sign for our future. Yes, I am. I know I've been Debbie Downer lately. I think it was just to shock the people into understanding that everything has changed. We're never going back to the way it was. And once you understand that, then you can say, okay, we get to invent a new future. And then the new future is not going to be bailing out the banks to infinity. The new future is going to be a new form of money, no more debt. That's going to be beautiful for most people on planet Earth. No more debt. Your states and cities and local governments fully funded. People fully funded. How does this all happen? It's not somebody deciding to do it. It's just Congress saying no to a bailout. And then all of a sudden everything goes. It's going to go anyway. $2 quadrillion worth of derivatives will not be fixed by a $4 trillion juice. And that's what's going on behind the scenes. I am going to do redo the timeline soon, probably after the first quarter, which is at the end of the week, because everything's changing. Many companies probably will not release earnings. Banks are toast, and even with this $4 trillion, they're going to need something else. They need QE to infinity, which has pretty much been done, and I'll get to that in a second. But as you can see, with silver down 35 cents at $14.27, although you can't buy an ounce of silver even near that price. I'm going to do a Friday road trip today for private road members about what the CFTC said about what's going on right now. It's ridiculous. Every past CFTC member should be tried for treason, for assisting in the manipulation of markets, including the current CFTC chair people. The statement they made was the most ridiculous thing you ever heard. I'll get into that in the Friday road trip. By the way, I think we're having, at 1 o'clock Pacific time today, we'll be holding a happy hour concert. We'll pull out the guitar. You can throw in your requests. Amy's going to take the requests. Paige is in town, which is good. And yell out your requests. And I'll be attempting to play them. This should be fun. So it's 1 o'clock Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern time at the Road to Ruta YouTube channel. All right. It's been a while since I played, too, so I'm a little rusty, but hey, we'll still have fun. Grab your favorite beverage. Looks like Mnuchin said, hey, let's give the shorts a time to jump in and short so that we can destroy the shorts. Never short anything when Steve Mnuchin has his finger on the key. So, yes, the Dow is down 900 points or so, but remember, Steve Mnuchin has a lot of gunpowder back there. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to short this market, that's the kind of guy Steve Mnuchin's gunning for, and the kind of hedge fund that Steve Mnuchin's gunning for, so he can destroy them. But yeah, he can place the price of the Dow at 0 or at 1,000,000 with a click of a mouse. So don't play their game. Pull your assets off the exchanges, whatever your assets are. If there's a third party between you and your assets, it's gone. And it's gone. All right, let's go. Let's go to the repos. Repos have died. Let me say that again. Repos have died. Why have repos died? Because the Fed Treasury is giving away free money. They're offering above market prices for all those asset types, treasuries, mortgage-backed securities, anything. The Fed will buy it at above market prices to bail out the banks. So you're going to see, as a matter of fact, we have seen the reversal of repo. Zero Hedge caught onto it, no bid, and the studying development. Dealers run out of securities to use in Fed repo operations. They haven't run out. They're going to sell it at a higher bidder. Sell it to a higher bidder instead of putting it out on the 14-day repo. They tried to do a repo for, let me tell you what it was, 28 days on Monday. Where's the big one? Here it is, just today. On Friday, March 27th, they had one of those open-ended repos up to $500 billion, and there were 0 banks that went in for the repo. Why? Because it's 59 days. And why would you lock up these assets for 59 days when you can sell it to the Fed at above market prices today? So nobody's using the repo. On my repo chart that I've been keeping up to date since September 11th, you can see obviously the line shot through the roof. What I didn't do is break out the repos and the reverse repos. The repos is where the banks give the Federal Reserve collateral and for overnight or term repo, and then the Federal Reserve gives the banks cash, short-term free cash, basically. But what I didn't know that Mnuchin was going to do, since he opened the whole window for purchases, flat-out purchases of the same assets, everybody wants their assets back because they want to sell them to the Fed for a higher amount than what the fair market value would call for. So as you can see, in the last 3 days, what I did was I was lumping in the reverse repos with the repos, saying this is the overall bank bailout. And I added in the permanent operations, which is like $972 billion right now. But the problem is now we're having massive amounts of reverse repos because the banks see that they can get their assets back and sell them to the Fed for more. So take a look at what the reverse repos have done ever since the Steve Mnuchin free bailout has happened. So this is today so far. I haven't posted these yet. Only 6.7 billion for overnight. And this is what I thought was going to go through the roof come the end of the month, but it doesn't have to because they can sell to the Fed for much more money. And there's the $0 and 0 cents repo that just went south today with nobody taking it. But I want to show you something. Thursday, there was a repo for $10 billion. And look at this, a reverse repo for $138.48 billion. Meaning all the banksters want their crappy collateral back that they've been having to borrow from in order to sell it to the Fed for a higher price. And Fed is paying well above market. That's how the con works. Crazy, huh? 138 billion. That's why you see this spike in the price, because I was adding the repo and the reverse repo under overnight column for repos, because the reverse repos used to be almost nothing, but they still count in the amount of participation that the Fed has with bailing out the banks. So I'm going to keep that number in there. But that's the reason it jumped in the last 3 days. Yesterday was 158 billion total. Day before, 110. Day before, 88. The reverse repos, excuse me. The reverse repos are the crazy thing, because the banks are taking their shitty collateral back and they're selling it to the Fed for more than fair market value. Another secret bailout. It'll be interesting what the FICC guarantees goes on, because they're probably, this month will probably be huge on average, but the end of the month, it'll probably be almost nothing. because you don't need a guarantee if you can sell those assets to the Fed for well above fair market value. It's a crazy world we live in, but I'm happy. Why? Because what did Ruta write in the sand in 1981 in the comic book? What did she write in the sand? She wrote an economic formula called On the Road to the Golden Age, which stated, in mathematical terms, the best way to get back to a gold standard is to print infinity money. And that's what's happening right now. Money to infinity. See this graph over here? That's exactly what that means. Money to infinity. And you're going to see the POMOs just blow the roof off. Look at this. Huge. Look at the POMOs back in January, February. Or February and March. 2, 5, 7.5. Remember that? 40, 40, 40. And all of a sudden, on 3/19, 75, 72. These are full-on purchases by the Federal Reserve. 70, 46. Will they be able to buy up a few quadrillion and print money to infinity? I don't know. Hey, the people, all they care about is, where does the next free money come from? That's why the people allowed this thing to happen. Oh, we need money in our pockets. So we're going to have to bail out the banks with $4 trillion, even though we only get $700 a piece. Silly and sad. But this is part of the road to Ruta theory. You got to print money to infinity, and it happens really fast. So I think they're going to come back to Congress for another bailout in a month. And the banks are going to ask for more, and the people are going to say, fuck you, that's it. And then all debt will go away. That's how the debt goes away, because once they say no, once Congress says no, every bank on planet Earth is destroyed. Because this won't be there to support it. This whole cockamamie thing will hit $2 trillion probably by tonight. $2 trillion since 9/11, 2019. And they're going to get crafty, so I gotta dig in and find out where they're stealing the money. But right now it's in this. They've gone from repos to permanent operations, $75 billion a month. It really adds up over time, and those are permanent. Right now I'm at this. I don't think this number is exactly correct. I think it's much bigger than this, but around $972 billion since September 11th. And they do small operations, but those small operations are getting bigger, so I might have to add those back in. It's getting complicated keeping this thing up to date. But just look where we were going. That huge trajectory. I'm like, this might take a while, but watch at the end of the month. We're at the end of the month. Boom. Boom, baby, boom. Yeah. Don't you love economic systems like this that have to be bailed out every few years? Why? Because they're so fraudulent and they're so put together with scotch tape and derivatives and market manipulation and fraud. And Jamie Dimon paying $46 billion over the last 20 years in fines to stay out of jail. $46 billion. And he's the leading banking CEO. Are you kidding me? He should be in jail. Go across the street, rob the 7-Eleven for $100 and you're in jail. On Jamie Dimon's side of the street where they wear those really nice suits, you can rob the people for trillions. Remember the $46 billion that they paid off? That's just the fine. The amount of money they make on those deals, rigging LIBOR, rigging the gold and silver markets, that's in the many trillions. It's a small item on the expense sheet when they were recording their earnings. Tiny little item, payoffs to government employees, to banks, to judges, to stay in business. God bless America. That's not America. We need to get back to America. Anyway, let's take a look at where we are on the virus stuff. I had the number going to 108 today. I don't know if it will. It kind of looks like they're starting to slow the curve. Like I said, Trump would fake the numbers. Hey, if he doesn't fake the numbers, I give him credit. And I'll take off my whole analysis of how he's going to fake the numbers. But if he does, then I got a bone to pick with him. Because this stuff like this with a bioweapon, first of all, it's a bioweapon. It's not a virus. It's a bioweapon. Second of all, why aren't they telling the population to take vitamin C and chaga? They're literally killing people. Mr. Trump, why aren't you coming out and saying, oh my God, why don't we try prevention? You're required to wear a mask anytime you go outside. Wear a mask anytime you go outside, if you have it or if you don't. It's that simple. And take your chaga, because it's a bioweapon with HIV in it, and MERS and SARS. It's not a virus. People are going to find out very soon, that there's something more to this thing. So yeah, Trump, it's up to you, dude. You're leading the country. Tell everybody what it is, who did it. I'm sure you know by now. And what we need to do to protect ourselves. And then we'll go outside and we'll make your economy roar if you stop rigging the markets. But everybody should be wearing a mask. I don't care if you have it or you don't have it. Why does it matter? Save yourself, save your family, save your friends. Take your vitamin C, take your chaga. Wear a mask everywhere you go. Don't have a mask, wear a scarf, wear anything, so that you don't infect other people, because you don't know if you have it. I think we're getting pretty close in California to about half the people having it, and they just don't know it. Wear a mask everywhere you go. What's the big deal about a mask? It's not a big deal. You don't have a mask? You can make one. They're easy to make. Go online. There's all kinds of YouTube things on how to make a mask. Take a scarf and wrap it around your face so that nothing gets out from you and nothing gets in. I know it's not, that's not, everything can still get in a scarf. Well, it helps a little bit. Every little bit helps. If it stops the spread to one person, that's good. And wear gloves. Gloves are easy. Mask and gloves. I want to show you something. Really cool program that tracks cell phone data, and where people are. And this guy said, okay, here's what happened during spring break, and here's where they all went. Really interesting. Check this out.
We can then zoom in on specific regions. Here, we focus specifically on just one beach in Fort Lauderdale during the month of March. Again, each of these data points shown on the map corresponds to a unique mobile device active on a given day. You can see clearly that device activity spikes during the 2-week stretch of early to mid-March, corresponding with spring break.
Who the hell allowed these idiots to go on the beach and down there for spring break? Why wasn't that shut down? Are they trying to kill people? Yes, they were. Especially in Florida. It's probably Debbie Wasserman Schultz district.
No surprise. Now, using an analysis called a spider query, we can actually track movement of these devices over the remaining weeks of March, seeing where these devices went after spring breakers left the beach. As we zoom further and further out, it becomes clear just how massive the potential impact just one single beach gathering can have in spreading spiders across our nation.
Look at that. All those idiot spring breakers went back to their hometowns. New York, Illinois, all throughout the Midwest, Atlanta. Look at that. All those white dots were all on that beach, and now look where they are. And you wonder, hey, how does this thing spread?
It can be hard for us to realize sometimes just how connected our world really is, until the data tells the stories that we just can't see.
That's just frightening. So yeah, remember those idiots saying, I'm young, it doesn't matter. They just spread it to probably 10,000 people, including their grandparents. Amazing. Anyway, hey, you want to keep up to date? Join roadrooter.com. Hit subscribe today. Go get yourself one of the lottery tickets, the Very token, and a silver Road to Rooter coin. Because Steve Mnuchin is going to run out of money one day. They are going to go back to Congress. And Congress next time is going to say, hell no, we won't go. Hell no, let the banks burn. Why? Because it means all your debt is gone. Woohoo! Yes, all your assets are gone if they're in the system. But still, the biggest problem on planet Earth right now is the size of the debt. Every country, every state and local government, every human being is massively in debt. I've been touting this message for 20 years. Let's kill the banks. Let's end this. And then we can start fresh. was something good. And we could put the people who need to go to jail in jail. People ask me about the 10 days of darkness coming up. I don't know. Maybe. Where everybody's arrested, all the bad guys are arrested, and then we come out the other end. If we come out the other end and they want to start up this phony monetary system, it was all for naught. We got to get rid of the phony monetary system. And the only way to do that is to let it crash. Not to crash it, but let it crash. Remove all the artificial support. Bix Weir, I'll talk to you later.